Hey YouTube, it's Hobo Mackie. Gonna do some hobo fishing today. I think I got everything ready. I made a little minnow trap out of a plastic bottle I found laying around. You just cut the top of the bottle off and then stick it in like this. Pretty basic fish trap, really. Um, and the minnows just swim right in, and then I just pick it up, and hopefully I have minnows in there. I've done this once before in the past, and literally a school of minnows just swam right into it. I've done it like one other time, and I didn't get nothing. But there's a ton of minnows here. One way or the other, I'm gonna get minnows. I can literally just get in the water and scoop them out of there with my hand, I think, or some sort of. There's plenty of stuff I could use to just scoop the minnows out. But I think this little fish trap's going to work. So we're going to try that. And then I also made a little hobo cane pole here. Just a long stick I broke down, and I did buy some fishing line and fishing hooks. So I got fishing line for $2 at Walmart and some fishing hooks for $1. And I did buy a little fillet knife as well for $1 at the Goodwill. Just simply trying to catch some fish to eat, and we'll see how it goes. So let's get down to the water. I've got everything rigged up already. My hook's on. I know there's plenty of fish in here. I might try to get a little quiet when I get down to the water. Plenty of fish. There's gators and lots of turtles and lots of fish and lots of birds and lots of minnows. So it's a very lively little lake, pond, whatever you want to call it. So, I should catch. It's also a little bit cloudy today. In the morning, should be a good time to fish, from my experience. But I haven't fished in a while, and I haven't fished this pond or anything. But let's see how it goes. All right, the minnow trap's in the water. And there's pretty good sized minnows. There's some in there already. I can see them. It's working. Um, but all I seen was one small minnow inside of it. I'd really like to get some of the bigger minnows. I see more minnows swimming over to my trap. Let's give it. Oh, I see more in there. Yeah, I see at least a few in there now. Perfect. Everything's going according to plan. Let's just take a look at the lake. I did see something just go underwater there. I've seen a baby gator like almost come up to me, and I've also seen like a medium-sized gator um, swimming just right out in here. So I guess you always got to be careful. I doubt there's any big gators, but you never know. There's definitely a good amount of minnows in there, so I'm going to go ahead and see what we got. Try to pick it up kind of fast so they don't have time to escape. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I don't got any in there. Okay. They must have swam out. There's one in there. There's two in there. Two small ones. I do have two small ones. Yeah, you can see them. You can see a couple small ones in there. I'm just wondering if I shouldn't try to get some bigger ones. Let's set it back down in and try to get some bigger ones. I know there's some good sized minnows in here. Yeah, actually, that's really not a bad way to get food. I mean, minnows are totally edible. Great little thing you can add to your stew. I've never eaten a minnow, but I've seen people do it, and it seems like a good idea because it seems like you're gonna get all the nutrients from the minnow, the protein, the eyeballs. You know, there's lots of stuff, nutrients and minerals and whatnot, in all of that. There's tons of minnows swimming around my fish trap. You know, really just a little minnow net would work as well. You can buy those at Walmart, but I don't really want to buy anything that I don't need. Um, I think I could just like literally take a bucket and get in the water and scoop the minnows up as well. All right, let's see if we got something. There's one, two, three. Yeah, couple little minnows in there, and I think I'm gonna at least use one of these and start fishing. Then maybe I'll set the minnow trap back in and try to catch some more. Let's strain the water out. This water looks clean. This pond seems healthy, even though there's a lot of garbage and trash. I seen like a refrigerator in the water over there. This isn't like a place that people fish often, I don't think. It's actually very hard to access the water because it's just vegetation all surrounding it. There's so many places in Florida to fish. I think people just go to regular places, but this is good for good old hobo fishing. Just straining out the water so it's easy to catch these. Oh, yeah, I got a little one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minnows. Let me get the biggest one, I think. Okay. All right. I think this is the biggest one. It's not very big. All right. Little tiny minnow there. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. I hook minnows right behind their fin. I know some do it in their mouth. Okay. Little tiny minnow on the hook. All right. Let's see how this goes. All right, I'm gonna have to get in the water so I can get out past these weeds. Hopefully there's nothing sharp in the water or anything. And I'll probably go ahead and put my minnow trap back in as well, real quick. Okay. gotta admit, slightly scared of the gators. The water's a little deeper, and they could be gators looking underneath the weeds. But you know, if you want to eat, you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, instead of just sitting out there in the water, I'm just gonna just laid my cane pole down. I can see the line, so if that line starts moving, then I got something. But I was kind of hoping I would have action immediately, um, but you know, I was kind of being loud, and I was kind of, you know, it's real easy to scare the fish, especially in water they can see through. They can see me, they know something's up, and they immediately go away. So this might be a situation where I kind of just need to leave it for a while. Like, I guarantee I can catch fish out of here, but I can't guarantee I can do it quickly. Um, the other thing I ought to do is try to get a bigger minnow on the hook. Yeah, there's probably tons of minnows for them to eat. Why are they going to pick the one that's on my hook, other than it's sitting still? I've seen good sized fish come right up. I couldn't tell what kind of fish it was, but there's good sized fish in here. Uh, Lots of life out here. Um, Kind of a cloudy and cool morning. It's been real sunny and hot the last few days. Um, so I kind of like the nice cool and cloudy for a day. There's lots of action going on in my minnow bucket, though. It might be time to. And I was actually a little scared going out there because honestly, I didn't think it was all that deep. But kind of looks like it's pretty shallow right there. But I was down over my knees, and I could barely swing the hook out there. Should make my line longer so I could swing it out a little further. The hook and the minnow itself is not far past the grass there, which could be a good thing. Maybe that's where the fish are at, or maybe I need to put it out further. You know, fishing's experimental. If something's not working, then you just change something. You know, and you just keep on making adjustments until you start catching them. Once you start catching, then you know how to catch them, and then it becomes real easy. Um, I know there's some nice sized minnows in the water. Let's see if we get a close up of the minnow trap. You can just see all the action going on. There's definitely some bigger minnows in there now. I see at least one good one. They're so dumb. They're literally just swimming in there for no reason. If I spit into the water, they'll all go after my spit. I did think about spitting in the minnow trap. I'm definitely thinking I need to try a bigger minnow on the hook and get it out there further. So I think what I'm going to do is get a bigger minnow on the hook and swing it out further, which means I'll have to wade out there a little bit further. I'm pretty sure if there were any gators right here in this area, I would know about it. And also, I really don't think the gators attack people, especially during the daytime. Like, I think he goes swimming out there, no problem, and they're just not going to come out there. I mean, unless there's like a 9+ footer out there, which I haven't seen, and I've been here for a few days. Um, and even the big ones, I think they've hunt at night. I think people get in trouble when they're swimming at nighttime. Uh, I've talked to a lot of people here in Florida, and the people in Florida here, they don't seem scared of the gators at all. They go swimming in the water. The gators are no big deal. I'm still slightly scared of them, but at the end of the day, I know they really won't mess with me. So I just need to wade out there a little bit further, get a bigger minnow on the hook, and see if I can't get my minnow out further into the water. Oh yeah, there's some bigger minnows in there now. A whole bunch of them too. Got some cool little multicolored ones as well. Those multicolored ones would probably be good to put into a fish tank. I used to do that when I was a kid. I lived in Florida, and I'd go to the creek, and I'd have a little net and try to catch crawdads and fish and things to put into the fish tank. Okay. Wow, one minnow almost jumped all the way out. That's a pretty good jump. Okay. My little minnow is still on the hook. Okay. So I didn't get any bites. Then we're going to let this little guy go. Good luck, little guy. I'm definitely going to try to get a big minnow this time. All right, got one. Definitely. Ooh, this one's pregnant. All right. All right. Little minnow on the hook. Yeah, got that one out there pretty decent that time. I can actually see the minnow, which is good. He sank down to where I can't see him now. So now all I can really do is watch the line on the end of my stick. And if that starts moving, then there's something on. So, yeah, I was hoping I'd catch minnows right off the bat, which I did. And then I was hoping I would just slap one on the hook and throw it out there, and I would start getting action right away. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So, but this is fishing. This is how fishing goes. I mean, they call it fishing, not catching, and it takes patience sometimes. This is definitely the type of thing that you could do. I could set up like 5 of these sticks and then just leave them overnight with minnows on there, and then come in the morning, and then I'd probably have at least one fish on the hook somewhere. Or if I just leave it out here for a couple hours and come back, it would probably have something on there. That was definitely a decent sized minnow on the hook, though. I don't think it gets much better than that. So just got to leave it out there and let it be. And also, with me talking and splashing around in the water, that does not help. Normally when I fish, I'm totally quiet and I'm not saying a word. It's like we got a turtle lurking over. I'll tell you one thing, is there's a shit ton of turtles out here, and they're fucking like rabbits. I mean, it's like all you see is a pair of turtles, one on top of the other, and you'll see it like 6 pairs of them just going at it. I don't know if it's that time, this breeding season, I guess, or I guess there's a reason why there's so many turtles out here, and they're really getting it on. I'm telling you, out here. That water was surprisingly deep. I did not think it was gonna be that deep. I mean, I was getting up to about my thighs, and that's just about 7 foot out there. There's definitely a lot of vegetation in the water. Another thing with fishing is look to change locations if you can. There is another location I was checking out yesterday, but it's right up by the road over there. Right there where that power line's at, there's a slight opening. But I don't really want like law enforcement rolling up on me that easily. But I was over there yesterday, and there was a bunch of fish in the water. Well, I don't think this video is going up on YouTube just because I don't know. I don't know if I should put it up or not. Kind of unsuccessful. Well, not really. I mean, if I had fished all day and came up short, that would be unsuccessful. All it takes is one fish, and then I got a meal. One good fish, or a few small ones. Also, you could try to change baits. Lots of lizards around here. Uh, those are pretty easy to catch. I've used them in the past with some success. I would imagine minnows are better. Worms are probably the best, but I have a hard time finding earthworms. I can go to Walmart and spend a couple dollars and get a whole packet of them, which is an option. But I try to do things on the cheap for free as much as possible. I do wish I had um, a rod and reel and my lures of choice, because I can catch some bass. I've caught probably thousands of bass in my lifetime. So I can definitely slay some bass. I don't know about out here in Florida, especially like in this kind of water. It's kind of clear. I haven't had the best success in clear water. I'm more from North Carolina and more murkier, muddier water. Uh, it makes a difference on as far as your lures and what kind of colors you're using. Um, I just have a couple certain kinds of lures that I know work like magic. Um, One is a bubblegum trick worm made by Zoom. Uh, you can catch big bass with those things. I have caught a 10-pound bass with a bubblegum trick worm, and there's two different ways of doing it. And one's the wacky worm technique. Uh, it's just literally putting the hook in the middle of the worm, throwing it out there, and then twitching your rod. um, and making the worm kind of do like this in the water, and that works great. You can also do it like it's just hook it with no weight and do it. Just hook it like you're supposed to, straight on the hook, and it'll swim on top of the water like this, like a little snake. Um, or you can just kind of let it sink a little bit and kind of twitch it, and it'll kind of slowly go through the water. And then my other secret lure is the Zoom watermelon seed super fluke. That watermelon seed color, I don't know what it is. I've tried every color of super flukes. I've tried like the watermelon seed pumpkin or whatever it is. They have a couple different kinds of watermelon seed, but just the regular watermelon seed super fluke. I don't catch big bass with them, but I'll catch a ton of 1-2 pound bass all day long, quickly, easily. I've caught them in North Carolina, Kansas, Michigan. So I just know that those two lures are really all I need if I have a rod and reel. But the thing is, I'm not carrying a rod and reel everywhere with me. I don't even like carrying fishing line everywhere with me, although I'm going to start doing it. I haven't even been carrying a knife with me because I already got too much shit, and I don't, I'm about to do a video on minimalism because it's important. I'm not, it's tough to not bring stuff you want to bring. I'd love to bring a little fishing rod. I had a nice little fishing rod, the perfect little one, just real short. It could break down in half. Um, it would cast a mile, uh, and I just don't fish often enough with it, and it's just not worth carrying it around everywhere. And then you got to carry the tackle and the lures. But I don't blame people that who do bring that kind of stuff. It's a tough decision I have to make. I already got too much shit. All right, well, I'll put this video up if I catch something for sure. But I may have to make a second video, get a few more, make a few more of these cane poles, so that if I could have at least 3 of them out there, that's gonna triple my chances, and definitely make the line longer and all that good stuff. I was hoping I would get away with just one rod. And kind of a pain in the ass breaking down those trees. I got one back there. It's like half broken down. I ended up giving up on it because I just could not get it to break completely off. I got it half broke, but like the wood's so green and it just won't snap. It's like I was breaking it left and right, this way and that way, and pulling and just going every which way I could to get it to break off. Like I said, I don't really carry a knife with me. So, but I actually had a really nice bushcraft knife. And I just wasn't using it it was last year and I wasn't using it. And I was mostly hanging around the towns. Even when I go in the woods, I just don't even use it. I bring all my food with me. I bring water with me. I got my sleep system and my, I'll bring a tarp and everything with me. And the knife is a heavy item that it was a solid knife, and it's just one more thing that I'm toting all around with me and never using. And it wasn't a necessity. So I gave it up. I just gave it away. Be nice to have that knife right now. It make chopping down these little trees a little easier. If you have a knife, then you also got to have a knife sharpener, so you can keep it sharp. Dull knife don't do you much good. Like I say, you don't need people. People say that, well, knives. If you're gonna have one thing to take with you into the woods, most people would take a knife. But you don't have to have it. I mean, you can. I see people that go into the woods with nothing. They end up. They know how to flake rock and make sharp edges out of rocks, and then they have a knife. That way, not a whole lot of rocks here in Florida. Not even sure it's possible to do that. All right, I think I'm just gonna go check the rod, and if I don't have anything, I'll throw the minnow back out there, and yeah, I'll probably make a few more cane poles and start increasing my odds a little bit. See if I can get on some fish. Getting hungry. Let's check it real quick before I let sign up. minnow still on, no fish. All right, well, I'm sure you guys don't want to sit there and watch uh, the what, probably better, more entertaining things to watch on YouTube, I would imagine, than somebody not catching fish. So, peace out.